function grid of points allows to create a grid of points inside a closed polyline. We can start the function from COGO, grid of points, and then we select from CAD a boundary polyline. The software has different panels on the left where we can define the starting point of the grid, the direction of the grid, and the grid layout and the settings. So from the first page, starting point, we can enter or directly select in CAD the grid starting point, just clicking, for example, on the point where we want to start our grid. In the second page, we can define the direction of the grid. The direction can be manually entered or indicated in the CAD, clicking on the first and the second point. In the layout page, instead, we can define the grid layout. The layout can be single lines or grid. In this example, we can use the grid layout, and also we activate for this grid the secondary lines. In the setting page, instead, we can define the settings of the grid or the setting of the single line layer. External margin, we can, for example, enter a margin between the grid and our boundary polyline. The main distance is the distance of the grid on the main direction. Here, for example, we can increase to 10 meters, and the secondary distance is the distance on the secondary direction of the grid. Extend to bound means that we extend the grid to the boundary polyline, like here that we can see in this example. If instead we select single line, we have a layout made by single lines, so in this case we don't have the secondary line. And again, we have a similar option. In this case, we have the lines distance, can increase to 10 meters, and the distance between the points along the lines. In this case, we have also an additional option, that is how we want to distribute the residual along the line. Here we have different options. In the last page, result, instead we see the result of our grid creation. So the number of points, number of lines, and other information. We have also the possibility to change the visualization mode. So for example, now we can see our grid overlapped to an online map. We can conclude this operation clicking Save. So now we can enter the first point ID. So the other points will start from this point name and the code where we want to save these points. And then we click Save, and the software has saved the topographic points that we created.